Hi guys, today we're going to cover section 9.5, graphing quadratic equations. So things to know we have, again, you should have the document, the paper that we handed out in class. If you don't, you can get it from the blackboard. So anyways, let's talk about the definition of the quadratic equation in two variables. So first thing first, let's talk about the equation y equal ax squared plus bx plus c. And this should be pretty familiar to you by now because you've done a lot of factoring and whatnot. Okay, and this is also known as the standard form. The other form we need to talk about is the vertex form. Now, the vertex form looks like this. It looks like y equal a times x minus h quantity squared plus k, where h and k is the vertex. Okay. So these are the two formats that we're going to spend a little bit of time on. Again, the standard form you should know pretty well, at least what it looks like. And the vertex form is slightly different, and we will talk a little bit about that as well. So let's go ahead and move on to the general shape of a parabola. So when we did this problem in class, when we talk about the general shape, we use the equation y equal x squared. Okay, we're going to try to keep it simple, right? Just so we deal with the x squared, it's only the square term. And to do this, we made a table. And the table that we did is that we use 0, 1, -1, and 2, -2 as our x. And as you plug in those values into the equation, y equal x squared, so when you plug in 0, 0 squared, you get 0. When you plug in 1, 1 squared is 1. When you plug in -1, using x equal -1, you get -1 squared, which is still -1, which is positive 1, sorry. And the same idea. When you plug in 2, you get 2 squared, which is 4. And when you plug in -2, you get -2 quantity squared, which is also positive 4. So when you graph those points, and excuse my freehand because I don't have a grid. When you plug in 0, 0, when you plug in 1, 1, 2, 4, and -1, -1, positive 1, and then -2, positive 4, you end up getting a shape look like this. Okay, not exactly the V shape, and not exactly the U shape either. So kind of like in between the U and the V shape. Okay, and then if we change the equation, right, instead of x squared, if I'm putting a negative x squared, using the same input from the x, that negative sign is going to make my answer negative. So I have a -4, -1, 0, -1, and -4. So that means I have 0, 0 still, but now I have a -1, -1, positive 1, -1, and positive 2, -4, or -2, -4. So now my graph looks like this. Okay, so essentially, if you think about it, right, if you make the x squared turn negative, your graph is going to open down. When the number in front of x squared is positive, you're going to open up. Okay, so that's what the general shape of a parabola looks like. It's going to look like either opening up or opening down. Okay. All right, the next thing we need to talk about is the vertex of the parabola. Now, vertex is also known as the tip. So this tip right here is the vertex. Okay, so right here, the tip is the vertex. Now, if you look at the sheet we have in here, right, it says the shortcut formula for h by using the average of x-intercept and whatnot. So let's think about what we're talking about here. Okay. Now remember we said that earlier, right? We could solve a quadratic equation using quadratic formula. Right, using quadratic formula. And if you remember, right, to use quadratic formula, we have to set it equal to 0. Which means if you have an equation y equal ax squared plus bx plus c, that means you now have 0 equal ax squared plus bx plus c. Which means you're telling me y equals 0. Right? Because if you set equal to 0, that means you're assuming y equal to 0. Okay? And if you remember from linear x-intercept, what does x-intercept mean? X-intercept means when the y value equal to 0. Okay? So that's why when we're looking for x-intercept, we can use quadratic formula. Okay? So to find x-intercept, we use quadratic formula. All right. So now let's think about what that means. If you have a parabola, say opening up or down, does not matter. The x-intercept will be given by the quadratic formula, which means if you remember, in the quadratic formula there is a plus minus option. So this would be negative b plus square root of 4ac over 2a, comma 0. And this point right here would be negative b minus square root of, b squared minus 4ac. I didn't write enough there. B squared minus 4ac over 2a, comma 0. Okay. Now, the vertex. Okay, the vertex is the tip. Okay, and notice if you remember from the table from above, right? Basically, the parabola, right? The graph is called, is like a mirror image of each half. They're like mirror images. Which means the tip will be right in the middle. Okay, so to find the middle, right? So which means in this case, if we can find the average of the two x-intercepts, that will give me the middle. So average x-intercepts will give me the middle. So which means I'm going to take the two answers we get from quadratic formula, and I'm going to find the average of that. So let's do this. Negative b plus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a, excuse me, plus negative b minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a, and then I'm going to find the average of that. Okay, don't let this one scare you, right? Notice on the top you already got the common denominator, so all you got to worry about is negative b plus square root plus negative b minus square root over 2a and over 2. Now, the reason I did not write down the b squared minus 4ac is because to save a little bit of time. Notice plus square root minus square root, they're the same, so they cancel. So you're left with negative b plus a negative b, which is a negative 2b over 2a over 2. Now from here, if you look at the numerator, the negative 2b over 2a, the 2 will cancel. So again, negative b over a over 2. And this right here is same as negative b over a times by 1 over 2. So you get negative b over 2a. This is a very important formula. This formula will give you the x value of vertex. If you want to graph a quadratic equation, you need to have the vertex, and this will help you get you started. Okay, and once you figure out the formula is negative b over 2a, and then you can go ahead and plug in the value that you get, and find the k. So, and this shortcut formula is very important. Negative b over 2a. Make sure you commit that to memory. All right. So now in class, I actually have the graph of all these equations graphed, but unfortunately, I'm having a hard time getting the pictures in here. So you're just gonna kind of go by my word. So for the first problem, you have y equal negative 2x minus 1 quantity square minus 6. This does not look like the standard form. It looks like the vertex form. So I'm going to go ahead and write the vertex form next to it, and we can compare and contrast. So if you're looking at that, notice everything pretty much matches the negative 2 and a, the x and x. They both have minuses. But here now you have 1 and h. So in this case, this tells me h equal to 1. Okay, now let's go ahead and look for k. Notice, right, k is the number outside. So which means you have minus 6 plus k, so this is telling you k equal to negative 6. So this means, if I just found here, so this means the vertex is 1, negative 6. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. Now, obviously there are other ways to check. So you could find the x-intercepts and try to average them. That's totally fine. Okay. All right. Now, second problem, you have y equal 4 parentheses x plus 6 square plus 5. So I think in this case, notice. Let's see, we'll clear some of this out. And notice in this case, right, you got, instead of x minus h, you got x plus 6. So you need to treat the x plus 6 as x minus a negative 6. So I can have the x minus h. So, all right, so in this case, h is negative 6. And now the k. What is the k? K is a number outside by itself. So that's just 5. So the vertex is negative 6, positive 5. Okay. Now third problem, you got y equal 4 parentheses x plus 6. Oh wait, did I skip? Oh, I think I skipped it. Never mind. Sorry. Let's go with number 2. I completely skipped number 2. Number 2, the second part, you got y equal 5 over 7 times x minus 3/4 square minus 1/2. So in this case, this one, let's see, let's look at the h and k. X minus h square plus k. Sorry for the quick pause. So that means in this case, if you think about it, 3/4 is k, and h is 3/4, and the k is negative 1/2. So the vertex is 3/4 comma negative 1/2. Okay. All right. fourth problem. Fourth problem, you have the y equal 101 over 420 times x plus 9 squared minus 2. So again, this is the same as x minus a negative 9. Quantity squared minus 2. So we know h is negative 9 and k is negative 2. Okay. All right. Now, the next few problems, it's not in vertex form, so we actually need to use our shortcut formula. Okay, the shortcut formula is this one right here, and that is going to be super important. Okay, so here we go. So you got y equal negative x squared plus 4x minus 3. So to use my shortcut formula, we know the x value of the vertex is negative b over 2a. So this will be helpful if you write down what's a and b and c, right? So we know a is negative 1 and the b is 4. So negative b over 2a is negative 4 over 2 times negative 1. Simplify this, you get negative 4 over negative 2, which is a positive 2. So the vertex is going to be 2 comma something k. Now, one easy way is just plug it in. So we're going to plug 2 into the equation. Y equal negative quantity 2 squared plus 4 times 2 minus 3. This is negative 4 plus 8 minus 3. So negative 4 plus 8 minus 3, that is going to be a positive 1. So your vertex is going to be 2 comma 1. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and we're going to keep moving. Next problem, y equal x squared plus 4x plus 5. So using the h is negative b over 2a, I have a equal to 1 and b equal to 4. So this is negative 4 over 2 times 1, which is negative 4 over 2, which is negative 2. So my vertex is going to be negative 2 something. And we're going to find out what that is by plugging it in. So we have y equal negative 2 quantity squared plus 4 times negative 2 plus 5. Calculator said this is 4 minus a plus 5, so the answer is, it looks like that is 1. So my vertex is negative 2 comma 1. Okay. All right, the next problem, you have y equal negative x squared plus 10x minus 25. You have, again, negative b over 2a. This means negative 10 over 2 times negative 1. That's negative 10 over negative 2, which is a positive 5. So vertex is going to be phi something. So plug phi into the equation. I get y equal negative 5 squared plus 10 times phi minus 25. So this is a negative 25 plus 50 minus 25, which is 0. Okay. Alrighty. So our final answer is our vertex is going to be phi comma 0. Okay. And the last one. Last one, you have y equal x squared plus 6x plus 10 using the h equal negative b over 2a. This is negative of 6 over 2 times 1. So it's negative 6 over 2, which is negative 3. So we know the answer is it's going to be negative 3 something. So now plugging negative 3, you get y equal negative 3 quantity squared plus 6 times negative 3 plus 10. Negative 3 squared is 9. So 9 minus 18 plus 10. I guess the answer is again another 1. So the vertex is negative 3 comma 1. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and so I think I'm gonna break right here and then make a second video, just because otherwise the video is gonna be too long. So watch out for part 2. Okay, bye.